I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us. A 9-year-old Missouri girl plays with a friend, walks home, still daylight, only 1,000 feet. She never makes it home. The search for 9-year-old Elizabeth Olten comes to an end. Her body found in a wooded area just houses from her own home. Bombshell tonight, the murder suspect in custody, a 15-year-old girl. All in court just hours ago in a bid for the 15-year-old to walk free. That's right, free, back in the same neighborhood where she allegedly lured and murdered her little sister's 9-year-old playmate.
Have you ever had somebody go in and just reach inside you, pull your heart out? That's what it's like.
New details emerge in the case of 9-year-old Elizabeth Olten, found murdered in a heavily wooded area behind her home. According to ABC News, the accused murderer, who is reportedly a 15-year-old girl, is actually the sister of the friend Elizabeth was last seen playing with. Police will not confirm this report to HLN.
A 15-year-old girl is the murder suspect, not just murder, premeditated, malice, murder, one suspect. This was planned.
It's absolutely ridiculous because the reality is if this crime is premeditated, she's going to be doing some adult time.
The suspect will remain at the Juvenile Detention Center until her certification hearing November 18th. At that hearing, a judge will decide whether the teen will be prosecuted as an adult or minor. Cops want the teen charged with premeditated first-degree murder.
There was a fondness for aggression. Whenever teens plan to commit violence and they want to do it and they're fixated on it, they write about it.
Meanwhile, according to KMIZ, the home searched right after Elizabeth's body was found is the same home where the teen suspect lives. Neighbors told us yesterday the home is also where Elizabeth was last seen playing with her little friend. What's the connection? Police will not say.
It'll be extremely likely that you'll be able to determine cause of death. And the fact that she was very well concealed may actually help coroners figure this out.
Straight out to Lad Egan, news director and anchor with KRCG. Lad, thank you for being with us. What can you tell me? The whole case was in court. It's my understanding there was actually a bid for this girl to walk free after being accused of luring her little sister's 9-year-old playmate and murdering her?
Yeah, today they was scheduled to have a detention hearing in the juvenile court system. And when they got there, however, the 15-year-old attorney waived the right to the hearing. And so she will remain at the detention center for the youth detention center until the hearing in 3 weeks from now that will determine if she'll be tried as an adult or not.
We are taking your calls live out to Joanne, Alabama. Hi, dear.
Hey,
What's your question?
I just want to know how a 15-year-old can do this to a child. And I watch you talking about your twins, and I have grandchildren of myself, you know, that goes and plays with their playmates. How can she get away with this?
Well, I can tell you this, Joanne in Alabama. I would never, at this point, ever, and I know it sounds overprotective, let the twins walk home from a playmate's home, even in the neighborhood. Absolutely not. To you, Karen Stark, psychologist joining us from New York, I don't understand the psychopathy behind this act. A 15-year-old girl? Aren't they usually playing basketball or soccer or cheerleading or something? 4-H, I don't know. Murdering a 9-year-old little girl? And allegedly, the little girl leaves the home to go home, and she's lured back into the home by the 15-year-old.
This is not a normal 15-year-old girl, Nancy, which is why I can
Karen,
understand.
no offense.
Yes.
No offense, Karen. I mean, you're the shrink, not me, but I already know that. I already know she's no normal 15-year-old girl, okay? So let's shed some different light on this.
So this kind of a 15-year-old girl, Nancy, would not be playing basketball. This is a 15-year-old girl who I would be interested in seeing probably has behavior problems. I'd want to see what her relationship is in abusing animals, what it's like for her in school. So it's hard to comprehend.
Okay, Karen, again, don't mean to interrupt you, but who cares what her record is in school? I mean, she's charged with murdering, premeditated. That means it's no accident. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. She premeditatedly lured this child back, a 9-year-old little girl, to murder her. Then, according to sources, concealed her body so well, cops couldn't find it. It was only a few feet away from the child's cell phone, and they still couldn't find the body.
Well, Nancy, you're right to be outraged because this is somebody who has an antisocial personality, and the best I can tell you is that it would be her inclination to do something like that. She's not normal. She wouldn't go ahead and do the kinds of things that you think a teenager would be doing.
Let's unleash the lawyers. Susan Moss, New York. Renee Rockwell, defense attorney Atlanta. John Burris, defense attorney San Francisco. Renee, now I understand why she was a no-show in court. To actually go before a judge and ask to wait at home with mommy and daddy, back in the same home where she allegedly lured a 9-year-old girl to her death. Are they kidding?
Well, Nancy, it was obviously a strategic move, but can I just switch back to what Karen was saying? It is going to be important what kind of life she led, because they're going to determine whether she's going to be handled as a juvenile or an adult.
She's just a baby. I mean, her mom, I mean, she's a wreck. I mean, she's like I am. Her dad's a wreck.